What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to do a fully honest review of the Tesla Model 3 year 2023. So I've owned this car for a little less than 2 years. So I just wanted to give you guys an honest review. I'm going to be doing the interior, exterior, and then I'll also do another review of the actual computer interface to show you guys all the different controls and capabilities that has as well. But with that, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Again, if you guys don't mind, I'd greatly appreciate it. All I ask is a like and a subscribe from you guys. If you guys get any value out of this video, if you guys enjoy this, if you learn something new, that's all I ask in return. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps get the channel, up off the ground. So with that, let's get into it. All right, so starting here with the exterior, I have obviously the white paint on the vehicle. Everything is pretty much stock except for the tint on the windows. So the back window actually matches the roof of the vehicle, so I had to match that tint there. I could have got it actually darker, but I just wanted to have it match. Then the front is the darkest that you can get legally. At least in the state of Texas. And for the front windshield, there's no additional tint there. That's just exactly how it came from the factory there. And as you can see, it's very sleek. I definitely love the look. And you can see here that they have one camera right here, another camera right here on the side. And yeah, so whenever you do the blinker, this is the camera right here that's going to show you. It projects out this way and it gives you a full view of your blind spot. All right, so now we're going to look at the front of the vehicle. So you just open it up. I just went on the screen inside and just opened it up that way. You can also do it from your phone, but here is what the front looks like. This again is actually an aftermarket piece of equipment that I had to purchase, and it just kind of keeps it a little bit clean in here. But it's a pretty good amount of space. Here is, just for reference, a flip-flop and kind of, what it looks like that way. So pretty good amount of space. You could probably fit, some luggage in here if you're traveling. So pretty good amount of space there. And then the only other thing is this for the windshield wiper fluid that you can replace. I've had it for almost 2 years and haven't even had to replace it a single time. So that's nice. And then this piece right here, for all of you wondering, I believe it is for, it's like a tow hitch. So what you do is you take that out, you can actually poke this hole out right here, and then you can screw it in there, and I believe it's a tow hitch used for that. And then to close it, you do have to manually close it. So that's one feature that isn't perfect, but at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker for me. Having to manually close the front isn't the end of the world for me. So that's the front of the car. We can hop around to the back. So this is a realistic video here, so you can see exactly what's in here, right? So this is a full-size golf bag, and it fits just fine, even with a little bit more room back there. I have some golf shoes, a hat, a jacket, keep some extra water bottles here. And this, I also believe that this came, with the vehicle. So this is just a different type of plug. I think it's a more industrial plug for charging your vehicle. And then also this piece came with it as well. So this is a converter. So a lot of your standard electric charging stations will have a different set of prongs than what goes into the Tesla. So this pretty much converts it. You plug this into the electric charging station, and then you're able to charge your Tesla that way. So keep a couple extra water bottles there. And then just for reference, go ahead and I'll move this up really quick. So here, there's another very spacious compartment here. This came with the car as well. And then these are just seat covers for the driver and passenger seats. And again, this is another piece of hardware that I had to purchase, but it comes in handy. So there's plenty of space. In the car, I've done a decent amount of traveling and have never had any issues with the amount of trunk space. And then of course, one more feature that I really like is this little button right here. You press it and it'll automatically close the trunk. All right, so now we're gonna do the interior. And then just a quick note, guys, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but a lot of times people can't figure out how to open the door. They're just like, how do I do it? There's no handle, right? So all you do is this big section right here, you just push it in, it'll slightly open the door, and then this remaining handle, you'll just pull it like that, and then it opens the door. So here in the interior, starting with the back seat, as you can see, I have a cover here that covers the seats. Again, this was a third-party purchase, and I just have it because I have a dog, and a lot of times, you know, he'll travel with us, so we just want to make sure the seats, we preserve them as much as we can. But then as far as like, say you spill some water or something, this is the vegan leather. It's very soft, and it's very, very good with any type of liquid that spills on it. So I've spilled water many times, and even coffee, and it bounces right off of it, and it's a great surface. And yeah, so it does very well with that. And then we'll go ahead and hop in back here, give you guys a perspective from back here. And so again, I did purchase this cover equipment right here. That's company not sponsored, but I thought it was a pretty good deal. And quite honestly, on the Tesla website, they do sell all of this third-party equipment, but it is a little bit pricier than if you found it on Amazon, which is where I looked. So I can include some things in the description, some links, just to give you guys some savings there. I was just trying to turn the air on. It's really hot. So yeah, so here's the back seat. And just for reference, I'm about 6 feet tall. So there's plenty of room back here. My head, as you can see, there's still a little bit of room for that. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty spacious, plenty of room for your legs. It can fit up to 3 people here in the back seat. And there's a speaker system right there. This is the felt right there. And then they even have these little coat hangers just in case you want to hang some clothes. They have them on both sides. And yeah, so pretty bare bones back seat, but honestly, it has everything that any of my passengers have ever needed. There's a little pocket pouch right there in the back. And then right here, there's 2 USB-C ports, and then a little way to adjust the movement of the air there. So yeah, and of course, all of the seats in the back are heated as well. You can control that from the front. But yeah, and then if you look here, you know, there is the back side right there. So it's glass all the way to the end, comes up. There's this big bar right here, and then it's more of a glass ceiling there, another bar across there, and then it finishes out there. So it's pretty cool. You can see, you know, I can see the trees through the glass, which is pretty nice. Even at night, you know, you can see the stars, and that's a cool feature. So yeah, so that's the back seat. And then to get out of the vehicle, all you do, okay, so here's a couple things. So first, to get out of the vehicle, all you do is press this button here, right? And it opens the door up. So a lot of people get confused on how to exit the vehicle. That's the number one way. All right, now we're gonna move to the front of the vehicle. Also, there is a little emblem right there, the Model 3 emblem, so that's kind of nice there. Hop in here. And yeah, it's very, very spacious, exactly what you need. So yeah, we'll start here. So you can control all of the windows from here. There's also an emergency door handle right here. So if this isn't working for whatever reason to exit, you can pull this lever and it'll release the door. So you can exit the vehicle at that point. There's a nice little cup holder right there. I use it quite frequently. There's a big speaker right there. And just to note, the sound system on this vehicle is impeccable. It sounds really, really good. So there's that. And there's another speaker right here, as you can see. It's very bare bones, very minimalistic, but I think it has everything you need. There is the hazards right there, the mirror, and there's also, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little camera right there And that kind of, it monitors things on the inside of the cabin, but you can opt out of sending any of that data to Tesla, of course. But I think what it's mainly used for is whenever you're using the FSD or autopilot, that it'll sense, like if you're on your phone or if you're, you know, dozing off or whatever the case may be, that it'll prompt you to take control of the vehicle. So I think it's there mainly for safety purposes, not really to spy on you, but who knows, right? So there's that. Here's the steering wheel, right? So it is very simplistic. There's only 2 knobs here on the steering wheel. This one pretty much turns the music up and down. And then this one over here, you can also go vertical and both directions. And if you push this one left or right, it'll change the song accordingly. Those are just a couple functions there. This is for different ways of driving. So reverse, neutral, drive, and then cruise control there, or the autopilot. Another cool feature I really like about this car is I just press the brake and it's prompting me to enter a PIN, right? So that's really good in terms of safety, right? You know, if somebody were to try to steal your vehicle, they would have to enter the PIN in order to start the vehicle and for it to operate. So that's something, if someone, you know, takes your phone or takes your Tesla card that you use as a key, and they don't know your PIN, they're not going to be able to operate the vehicle, which is another layer of added protection that I think is very, very useful. All right, so there's that. And as you can see, the interface is very, very cool, very sleek. You can, again, open the frunk. You can just unlock or lock the car itself, open the trunk. You can open the little charging flap right there. You can even set a home and work address, so that way if you're somewhere else and you want to go home, you just bam tap it there, or bam tap it to work. There's a little map right there. So, and here's the satellite view, right, of that map. So it's very, very cool. You can zoom in, you can see the golf course, you can see all these different features here. You can kind of scroll around and it's very, very cool there. Here you can see all of the nearby charging stations right there. That as well. And yeah, so you can just kind of play around with those. And then you can, of course, shift. This is how it would look bare bones, but then with the extra feature, I believe it's a premium connectivity that you can see all of this additional information via the satellite view, which is very, very helpful, especially if you're in a new area driving around and, you know, you can only see the road in front of you. You can kind of see from a bird's eye view everything that's around you, which is super, super helpful. And then over here on this one, this helps control the windshield wipers and the windshield wiper fluid. So yeah. And so for the console space here, as you can see, like I was saying earlier, you know, here's the standard water bottle, and the cup holder is a little bit bigger. So if you're driving around, you know, 70 miles an hour, it's going to start moving a little bit. In some cases, it may even fall out completely. So again, it's a minor inconvenience, but it's not a deal breaker. I feel like that's a very, very small con for all the pros that the car does offer. And so here is the console space right there. So there's my hand. It goes in pretty deep and there's plenty of room. There's 2 USB-C cables right there. And then here is the main console right here. So again, this is realistic video. So you have a couple of, you know, glasses, cases right there, sunglasses, a couple of sunglasses in there, and then, you know, just a couple of trinkets, some chapstick and hand sanitizer. So you can hold a lot of good stuff in there. It's very useful and pretty standard. You can also buy third-party add-ons too, to add to that if you would like more organization on that end. And also a couple more features as well. So right here, if you place your phone, it will start charging your phone automatically. So that's a very nice feature. And then also the glove box here. So you do have to click on the screen right here, and then under the controls section, you click glove box right here, and then it pops it on open. So there's a good amount of room, just, you know, your standard size glove box. And I believe you can also put a pin in your glove box as well, if needed, which is pretty cool. All right, now I'm going to do a brief review of the console and everything that it offers there. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. So we'll start right here with the bottom left. So right here, again, you can have a couple of controls right there. And then just for a reference, guys, so I'm at 91% right now, and that equals about 236 miles worth of range. So again, like an honest review is, you know, it's not a crazy amount of range, but for me, you know, I stay within my city for the most part, and so I don't, you know, do many cross country trips or things of that nature. So the charge and the distance is never a problem for me. And a huge pro is that every time I leave my house, it's pretty much at 100%. Something else to note is, you know, I charge almost for free. So the energy plan that I'm on for electricity, they have a deal from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. You get free electricity. So you can guess when I charge my car, right? And now granted, sometimes I will have to charge it outside of that window, but it's super, super cheap. And I think I did the calculation, and for me at about 17 cents per kilowatt, it costs about $12 or so to fill it up from zero to a complete full charge. So that's super, super cheap. I mean, comment below if you know a gas car that can fill up completely full for $12. Let me know. I'd love to know in the comments for that. And so moving on here. So here are some of the controls. So again, you have your lights, your mirrors, windshield wipers, all that. There's a car wash mode. And then so something to note about the car wash mode. So honestly, guys, when I first got the car a couple years ago, I was very nervous to take it through a conventional car wash, so I never did. I ended up spending about $100 a month for folks to hand wash it and detail it, which was fine and it was great. But for me, it was the inconvenience of how long that would take. The one that I went to, sometimes it'd take 30 minutes to an hour just to get my car washed. And I'd have to wait outside for that to be done. So it was very inconvenient. So I ended up switching to an actual car wash, and so far it's been great. I've seen actually a lot of other Teslas go through that car wash. So it hasn't chipped the paint, like there's no corrosion, there's been nothing at all. So that's just in case you guys were wondering. For me, it's worked out very, very well, and I'd highly recommend it. And it only takes 5 minutes to go through the car wash. You're in and out, and it's very nice there. So just a little note on the car wash piece there. And you can adjust the steering and the brightness. Here's the dynamics. So here, the acceleration, chill standard, the steering weight, stopping mode, all that good stuff. Charging, you can see the last time I charged, it was $11.67, so not that bad at all. Autopilot, the double pull, set speed, speed limit, 20% over the speed limit is the max that it'll do. There's some more settings there. And so the forward collision warning, so this is another piece of the honest review here, guys. So with Tesla, I would recommend getting the Tesla insurance. Now, obviously, it's a very smart vehicle. So if you drive like a fool, you're going to pay for it because it's going to know and it's going to increase your insurance, right? So, but one thing that I don't necessarily like and that I think should be fixed is a lot of times when I'm driving just manually, I will get a dink or, you know, a bad notification basically saying like, hey, you're too close to the car in front of you. But I mean, I'll probably upload some clips of this, but I mean, I am not tailing a vehicle like bumper to bumper. I'm giving them a good amount of room, but it will still dink me and say, oh, you're way too close, right? And so that will charge my insurance and increase the price, right? So it varies month to month. If you were to leave the car parked in a garage for 30 days versus out traveling the world, your insurance is gonna probably be higher when you're out on the road, right? So that's something that I you know, it's an honest piece of feedback. There are certain times where I'm following closely at a close distance the car in front of me, and the car will think that I'm too close and ding me, and it will affect me negatively as far as the insurance, right? So it's, again, it's not a deal breaker, not even close, right? Like my average insurance bill is probably like $130 to $150, just depending on the month, it varies. So that again is way cheaper than the $300 to $400 that I was quoted when I was shopping around insurance through your conventional providers like Allstate, and other providers like Progressive, other folks like that, right? So again, a minor piece of feedback, but is it a deal breaker? Would I go back to a gasoline car? Would I? Absolutely not, right? This car, I think all in all, is an amazing piece of machinery. It's very smart. It's iterative. It gets better over time. And that's something that you can't say with a gas vehicle unless you buy a new one, right? So back to this over here, the autopilot, that's a little piece on the collision warning. Some locks. It recognizes my iPhone as a key to the car, which is very nice. You're also given a little Tesla, what looks like a credit card, but it's a key. You have child lock, window lock, different things of that nature, lights. You have the auto headlights, turn signals, things of that nature. And so something that I actually really like recently that I've been using, so the auto turn signal has auto cancel. So basically when I turn and I switch lanes, right? And I switch lanes and then it senses that I've successfully switched lanes, it will automatically turn off the blinker, which is really, really nice. Obviously, if you're driving a car that doesn't have that feature, you have to put the blinker on, switch lanes, and then manually turn it off, which I know it's a little bit of a difference, but honestly, it makes the world of driving a whole lot easier. And when you're driving, safety comes first, and there is a lot of instances in which an accident can be decided within a couple of seconds. So that, for me, is truly a really good feature that I enjoy. So the headlights, let's see the display here. Brightness, you can reduce the blue light, which is really nice. You can save the dash cams, which is really nice. Text size, all of that. You can look at your trips. Let's see, navigation here. You can use the HOV lanes. You can avoid tolls, things like that. Schedule, you can schedule your car to charge at certain times. Let's see, safety here. So Sentry mode, of course, you always want to keep that on. I have this disabled because if somebody gets close to my car, I want to make sure that the sounds are on so they're aware that they are being recorded. Also, the dash cam, I like this feature. It'll automatically save a clip the second that you honk it, right? So that way you can know to go in and look for that footage specifically and all that good stuff. There is the pin to drive. There is the glove box pin right there. Also parental controls. It's pretty interesting right here. This is a new feature. So you can limit the speed, reduce the acceleration, certain safety features, send curfew notifications. So, if you're a parent wanting to let your kid drive the car, that's for you. Cabin overheat protection, automatic 911 call. So this is huge for me, right? So if you were to get into an accident, or it says here, if the airbags deploy, right? So if the airbags deploy and you get into an accident, it'll automatically dial 911 for you, right? So that's something that if you're in a regular gas vehicle, I mean, some vehicles may do it these days, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing most don't. So that's a great feature. And so here's a couple more features there. Service, my PSI is at around 40, should be 42, so not that bad there, but you can automatically check your PSI. Software, and then you have the Wi-Fi. You can connect it to the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You can have your phone connected like that. And then upgrades is full self-drive, right? So it's only $99 a month. But honestly, guys, another honest piece of feedback here is for the FSD piece. I've tried it. There was a certain time where Tesla let every Tesla owner have a free trial of the FSD. And for the most part, it got me safely from point A to point B multiple times, right? But there's just been certain parts where I've had to disengage the system because I didn't feel comfortable letting it drive me around, just because in certain situations on the road, I didn't want to risk letting the software drive it for me, because that's my life we're talking about, so I don't trust it like that yet. So I personally don't have the need for FSD. I've heard it's great, but I prefer to drive manually myself. I really enjoy driving, so that's another factor as well. But I mean, eventually I do think that Tesla will be the first company to produce a fully autonomous vehicle and have the software to back that up. So Again, I am, I do own some Tesla stock, and I'm a huge believer in the company. But for myself, I just don't do the FSD package as of now. But as it gets better, I'm sure that I'll opt into it. And then, yeah, so over here, this is your AC piece here. So you can control right here, which is pretty cool. Move it around there. You have the heat seater right there, the steering wheel heater as well. I'll go ahead and turn those off because it's 92 degrees. You have this, you can cool the air, heat the air, which is really, really cool there. You can adjust the fan right there. This is the filtration system if you want to filter the air or not. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and turn that down a little bit. Just like that, you can also heat up the passenger seat. And then for the rear passengers, again, you can heat up their seats just like that, which is really nice. You can do all off, just like that as well. So there's a phone section right there. This is the, what is this? This is the music section right here. So you can scroll around there. Top station, genres, count, stuff like that. This is the camera system right here, which is very, very nice. You can see all angles of everything right there. Very handy. And then right here you can just see all of the settings and all the seats right there. So there's the defrost settings, climate, navigation, camera. Here's the dash cam. So if something ever happens while you're driving or while you're not driving, for example, you can review the footage. So every single trip that your car makes, so I was just sitting in the parking lot here, but here I'm on the road, right? So it records the entire drive from the time you start to the time you end. So for insurance purposes, it's a great feature. You can see out of all the cameras, front, rear, right, and left, and the road right there. So it's very, very useful. And it stores to a USB that's actually equipped with the vehicle when you purchase it, which is very, very nice. And then you can, of course, see all of the different videos there. And yeah. Okay, so let's go back here. So you can see the energy usage. You can use your phone, calendar. You can hook up your messages to it. You can do take a Zoom call. You can do theater. So let's try theater mode. So you can log in to any of these platforms there. Very cool. Arcade mode. There's a bunch of different games. I think that's a new one that they added. But here's some of the games that you can play. Very, very cool. Honestly, I don't play them that often, to be quite frank. But, if you're into it, you can certainly do it. Toy box, let's see here. So this is where I can actually play music right now, and then it'll project outside of the vehicle. A light show is pretty cool. I might do that for you guys really quick just to show y'all, but basically it does a whole act with the car just by itself, and it's very, very cool. Here's the colorizer. So I chose the gold, but you can customize it to whatever you want. The emissions, it'll make a farting sound. Kind of cool, I guess. Here, if you are into creating music, there's a little romance mode. It just projects the fireplace, a sketch pad for some notes, Mars, Santa mode, which is kind of cool. I've never really tried it. Also Rainbow Road as well. Whenever you put it into autopilot or FSD, it'll do that. So let's see what else. Browser, you can browse the internet. There's a car manual, Spotify, Bluetooth, TuneIn, radio, streaming, karaoke, Tidal, Apple Music, podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music. Again, all in all, I would highly recommend getting a Tesla, guys. If you're on the fence, if you're wondering, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I'd also be more than happy to give you guys a Tesla referral code, which is going to give you a discount on the Tesla if you were to purchase one. I believe it's also going to give you free supercharging miles, which means if you were to charge at a supercharger, you wouldn't be charged for that, right? So you'll get a certain amount of miles for free, and I believe a discount on the car. It may have changed, but that's the last that I was aware. So yeah, all in all, again, the pros significantly outweigh the cons when it comes to driving a Tesla. There's a couple of things, right? Like the cup holder might not be perfect, or you might have to manually close the frunk. But at the end of the day, those are so small in the grand scheme of things. With this being the safest vehicle on the roads today, it's the smartest vehicle on the roads. You can update the software constantly. There's always a better version coming out. You have a satellite view. You can automatically, there's a lot of things you can do from the app on your phone. You can preheat the cabin. You can pre-cool the cabin. There's a lot of features, and it's very cutting edge technology, and it's always improving. So again, I would highly recommend it if you guys are thinking about it, questioning it. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. Again, if you guys got any value, if your value has increased watching this video, all I ask is for a thumbs up, give me a like, and give me a subscribe. And with that, I really appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.